It did not even look like him. Davis told M Live, "I'm telling them, you have the wrong person. There's got to be a mistake. You guys are making a mistake." But police put him in jail and kept him there even after cell phone and Uber records they found in March indicated he was not at the scene. And DNA evidence that proved the suspect was somebody else was still not enough to convince police to release Davis, according to the lawsuit. Davis spent 129 days in jail before he was released. During that time, he was assaulted in jail, lost 2 jobs, and his home. When he was finally released, he was homeless. His mugshot was also published by local media outlets, naming him as the suspect in the violent sexual assaults. Davis said, "When the judge signed the PR bond, I was overwhelmed with excitement, but at the same time, I was nervous. What are people going to think? What are people going to say?" Davis is suing the city of Grand Rapids and the 3 investigators in the Grand Rapids Police Department for unlawful imprisonment, arrest, and prosecution. Officials for the city of Grand Rapids have not commented on the lawsuit. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports President Donald Trump reiterated his support for a Montana congressman who body-slammed a reporter last year, even as he came under criticism on Friday from U.S. lawmakers and press organizations. Trump's praise for Greg Gianforte, a Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives who pled guilty to assault charges for the incident involving a reporter, coincides with an international outcry over the disappearance of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Trump told a political rally in Missoula, Montana on Thursday night, referring to Gianforte, "Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my guy." On Friday, asked whether he regretted praising Gianforte amid the Khashoggi controversy, Trump said he did not. Trump drew rebukes from several lawmakers, including U.S. Senators Jeff Flake and Patrick Leahy, as well as Gianforte's Democratic opponent Kathleen Williams, and from the spokeswoman for the United Kingdom's Prime Minister. Theresa May's spokeswoman told reporters on Friday, "He obviously made comments at a political rally, and those are for him, but more generally, we would always say that any violence or intimidation against a journalist is completely unacceptable." You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A month after the death of leader Kim Jong-il, North Korea's 24.5 million citizens have returned to their regular daily routines this week, holding a festive synchronized disco jump rope gala in Pyongyang's main public square. Life in the hermetic communist nation is reportedly beginning to normalize following the protracted mourning period, with citizens once again donning their brightly colored uniforms and performing intricate gymnastics routines in perfect unison.
It is an inspiring sight to see so many loyal citizens find the strength to unfurl their long silken streamers and do dozens of tandem backflips set to dance music.
Observers reported that new North Korean leader Kim Jong-un nodded once in approval of the disco jump rope gala, signaling an official transfer of power.
A recent study from the Centers for Disease Control finds that over 100 million children are being exposed to harmful levels of stupidity in their own homes. Hear the debate about secondhand ignorance on the next In the Know.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you can join us here. Just dial on in here toll free. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Just hop into one of those. We'll join you there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. In that studio, it's me, Ian.
And Chris.
So, Chris, there's a lot in the news about this Honduran migrant mass.
That's a massive invasion of our hinterlands. According to some.
Yeah.
According to some.
Or it's just people looking for a better life. I don't know.
Yeah.
According to the AFP, in Mexico, thousands of migrants who forced their way through Guatemala's northwestern border and flooded onto a bridge leading to Mexico, where riot police battled them back on Saturday, waited at the border in the hope of continuing their journey to the United States. The caravan of mainly Honduran migrants, whose journey has triggered escalating anti-immigrant rhetoric from President Donald Trump, on Friday surged through a series of police lines and barricades up to the final fence on Mexico's southern border. There at the far end of the bridge over the Suchit River, which forms the western part of the Mexican-Guatemalan border, they hurled rocks and other objects at hundreds of riot police, who responded with rubber bullets and tear gas.
Yikes.
Multiple migrants. I guess we should be happy that it was just rubber bullets and tear gas instead of something more deadly. Multiple migrants, federal police, and even journalists were wounded. 28-year-old Marta Ornelas Cazares said, "We're running away from violence, and we arrive here, and they just hit us more." She sobbed as she was nursing her baby, but had lost her two other children, aged 10 and 15, during the turmoil. She says, "I don't know what happened. I thought we were going to cross peacefully, and then suddenly there were rocks flying and tear gas. We haven't eaten. The soldiers just sent us some water," she said. This is a different woman. Anyway, we're imprisoned here like animals. Please, open the door, she pleaded. Mexican authorities insisted the undocumented migrants would have to file asylum claims one at a time in order to enter the country.
4,000 people, one at a time.
They began letting them through in a trickle. First, women and children, who were ushered onto trucks and taken into shelters. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto described the situation as unprecedented. He said in a video published on social media, quote, "Violent entry into the country not only threatens our sovereignty, but also puts the migrants themselves at risk." Well, now, were they violently entering the country, or were they just trying to walk in and the Mexican Border Patrol started shooting at them?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not there. But these people are fleeing a bad place.
Honduras, not a good place at all. It says here they're fleeing poverty and insecurity, where powerful street gangs in Honduras rule their turf with brutal violence. With a homicide rate of 43 per 100,000 citizens, Honduras is one of the most violent and deadly countries in the world.
So root cause, I'll take a stab. The United States war on drugs. So when we see these huge gangs forming south of a border, they're either involved in the production or the transportation of drugs. I mean, I don't know any violent street gangs that are out there just for political reform. Are they out there because they want to make sure that all the restaurants sell their brand of bread?
No.
It's nothing like that.
It's usually pushing something that's been made illegal.
Right.
Like drugs.
And
or prostitution, sex slaves, for instance.
Sure. But I'm going to say...
Gambling.
Yeah, but I'm going to say all those things are much smaller than the United States market for illegal drugs.
Oh, yeah.
And
the world market. I mean,
true,
it's not
but
just the United States aren't the only ones snorting lines of cocaine on the planet.
No, but fortunately, there are a few countries that have taken a more sensible approach to that.
A few.
And while we're trying to see a smarter approach, at least to marijuana, I mean, I've not heard anything about cocaine reform or opiate reform or any of these other drugs.
No, although I think you guys were talking about some psychedelics news on Thursday night, right? Where
out of Canada.
Well, I don't know if you mentioned it, but they are looking at a ballot measure, I think, in Denver, Colorado, to reduce the possession of psychedelic mushrooms to the lowest police priority. And I believe it's either Oregon or Washington that has a ballot measure that is getting signatures right now to actually legalize medicinal mushrooms.
And those are great starts, and I applaud the people that are pushing this forward.
That won't affect cocaine or heroin or any of that.
Right, and so we have this on the one hand. On the other hand, when the war on drugs goes down in one area because pot's not really being seen, even though we're still imprisoning hundreds of thousands of people for marijuana possession, despite it being legal in so many states, or medical marijuana being legal, we still continue to push it, which makes us still a very attractive market for black marketers.
It's true. In fact, we could talk more about Canada and what happened there this week, because it was a big week in Canada. They legalized recreational cannabis across the country there. So that's worth talking about. But more about the chaotic scene down at the Guatemalan-Mexican border. Adone Sanchez, age 36, traveling with his 3 nephews. This sounds like a dangerous group, right? People traveling with their children and their nephews. Clearly violent,
terrible,
deadly people here trying to get into these countries. He says, we're staying here until they open this fence. Others returned to the Guatemalan side late Friday, where shelters have been providing them with food and water. The scene remained tense at the final border barrier, a tall fence of white metal bars. Chanting, "Yes, we can," and "Mexico, Mexico," migrants earlier climbed or tore down a series of barriers, flooding across the bridge. The migrants could be seen passing babies overhead through the crowd, as women holding crying children by the hand or pressing their infants to their chests stream past the broken metal barriers and onto the bridge. At the front of a caravan, one group briefly broke through the final fence before the police forced them back and closed it again. I mean, can you imagine what this must be like to be in a place in Honduras where you feel like you're in jeopardy all the time?
You may get shot by a gang member just for walking down the street.
Just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, generally in like Mexico or whatever, there's some gang violence, but they tend to target each other. It's rare, that
it
they're
occasionally spills over, but you're right. You're right. It's wars between rival gangs.
Right. But yes, you're right. Bullets go astray, and innocent people do get hit, or the wrong house will get attacked, or whatever. So you get this fear that you're living in this one place, and your only answer is to get out, because you can't, in most of these countries, you can't defend yourself. Right. There's no gun rights in these places. Now, they say, I've been down to Mexico a couple times now, in Acapulco, and I talk to people when I'm down there. The word is that everybody's got a gun. It's just that they're not legally allowed to. Right. So it's not like they're not there. But if you are a law-abiding person and you don't want to get caught with a weapon, because there's probably felony charges that would be thrown at you, or whatever the equivalent of that is down there, you live in fear, and your only option would probably feel like is to leave.
Right.
So you pack up your family, you grab your kids, you grab your infant, and you hit the road to the northern border in Guatemala to try to get to Mexico. And now you're being stopped. Now there are men with guns on that side who are pointing them at you and telling you no.
Well, let's look at the options they have. They can go south, Panama. I don't know how that is right now, but I don't think it's doing too well. And if you keep going, you can hit Venezuela and Colombia.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So those are your options. You're stuck. If you want to move safer, you have to go north. I was watching a video and just a quick clip from a migrant mother who said, "May God soften Trump's heart." So this is happening at the Mexican border with Guatemala.
Right.
But they recognize that the whole reason that Mexico is doing this is because they are facing pressure from Trump.
You think so?
And, of course.
You think Mexico would let them in normally?
I think
they
Mexico,
have immigration too,
They do, but I think Mexico would have been, let's just say that Trump's heart did soften, and Mexico could quite easily just, basically escort them through. If you're trying to get to the United States, stay on this road, go north, and we'll have some troops along the way to make sure you don't get out of hand.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And, of course, the conservatives are painting these people as a group of marauders, right?
Coming to take our jobs.
Lawless people, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so ridiculous. These are human beings. They're trying to find a better place to lay their heads at night. It's Free Talk Live.
Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless.
We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick, call 888-211-7519.
We are digital.
Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech.
Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves here, bring up anything that's on your mind, though we are talking about the migrant mass that the conservatives like Trump are trying to scare you about. Oh my God, people are trying to move from one arbitrary landmass to another. They've got children. They must be murderers.
Right.
So we'll tell you more about what's going on. And then also an interesting story from thedailybeast.com, why I quit the Border Patrol. We'll tell you about that coming up here in moments. Of course, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, it is Ian.
And Chris.
Don't forget about the Blink home security system. We've got it installed here at the studio. Mark's got it. He's one of our co-hosts who's normally here on Saturday nights. He's got it at his house. And you can easily set this thing up. It's actually an Amazon product now. Amazon purchased the Blink company a couple of years ago. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL to get yours and get 15% off. They're wireless cameras, so it really doesn't get any easier than this to get up and running. You unbox the camera, you put the batteries in. Those are included, by the way, and they last up to 2 years. They're just, alkaline AA, so not hard to get more of those if you need them. And then you just put them up wherever you want around the house. There's no running wires, which is the most difficult part of installing a home security system until now, thanks to Blink Home Security. There's no contracts, by the way, and no subscriptions. That's really important. And Blink also works with Alexa. So save 15% off the already shockingly affordable. I was really surprised how affordable this system is. BlinkProtect.com/FTL. That's BlinkProtect.com/FTL. To the phones, to the fun. He's Eddie in Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Eddie. God, I don't know what they've done there to your phones, but they've turned you up way too loud or something, so hopefully they've turned you down by now. Keep trying. Go ahead. Say again.
How about this?
Much better. Much better, sir.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, man, the latest caravan en route to America, are you willing to give up 3 or 4% of your yearly income to support them and all the rest of them?
How many
what are you
percent?
Talking about?
What's that?
How many percent? 3%
of your income.
So 4,000 people are going to cost every U.S. taxpayer 3% of their income.
No. But if you let the first caravan in, what about the next group?
What is it, sir, that makes you believe that these people who are obviously able to walk across an entire continent, basically, or interested in walking that far? They've gone a good chunk of distance. They've crossed through Guatemala already. But what is it that makes you think that these able-bodied men and women and children are going to be welfare queens, sir?
Well, I think the statistics show that most of your immigrants coming from that part of the area there end up on our system.
That's a load of crap.
Our welfare system.
Where they
we can't take in everybody. So my point was to
wrong.
the screener is, let's make their country great again, so they don't want to come over here and suck up our welfare system.
Well, they need to do that. First of all, if with the problems they're facing, only they're going to face him. And I am not in favor of the U.S. Getting into another entanglement with another foreign country. We don't need to fix their problems. But what I do know is New Hampshire has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country, and somebody's got to clean our hotel rooms. Somebody's got to wash dishes in our restaurants.
This guy doesn't believe they work. He doesn't believe these people want to work, which is
somebody's. All those people are good for
the statistics. I don't know what statistics you're talking about, Eddie, but I would suggest you look at. I believe the magazine was the American Conservative magazine that actually did an in-depth. Can I respond to your BS that you brought up here? Because that's what I'd like to do. The American Conservative magazine several years ago did an exhaustive look at statistics and studies and that sort of thing, and they found that actually migrants are less likely to be on welfare than native-born people.
All right, so if they're not sucking up our welfare system, who is?
Usually
anybody who wants to. I mean, it's just a system. People learn how to work it.
Hey, Eddie, can we agree that there shouldn't be a welfare system?
Limited in nature.
Oh, see, he does like the idea of welfare.
So that's interesting. So there should be a social safety net.
For everyone or just occupants of USA?
Well, so now
he's
it's
asking
occupants?
You're not saying you agree there should be.
What about you? What about you, my friend? You're all for the immigrants coming in.
No. What I'm all for is, Judge, right now New Hampshire's sitting at 2.8% unemployment, which means we don't have enough people to work. You can look at any agriculture. I grew up in an agriculture area in Oregon, and it was, we had thousands of migrant workers that were there because otherwise crops are going to rot. So I like food, and I like clean sheets in my hotel, and I like a clean dish when I go out to a restaurant.
Every state's got immigrant workers in there, and I don't deny that we need them. But we cannot take in everybody from everywhere.
Do we take in everybody from everywhere?
Well, the good news is everybody isn't coming here. Only some people want to come here badly enough.
Good news? That is the good news, isn't it?
Well, for you, because I really don't care how many people come here. The United States has plenty of open space. Plenty of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you understand? Do you understand that like 97% of the United States is completely unurban? It's completely just wide open space.
What happens if they go out to, where, Egypt, and they get sitting on 2 acres of land, and there ain't nobody no system to support them? So yeah, there's
if you're going to go to BF Egypt,
America, if you're going to live somewhere close to a job.
So here's where
let's make their country great again.
Yeah, you really don't understand how economics or the marketplace works, do you? I mean, look, if people come in, Eddie, the point is, all right, I'm putting you on hold. The point is, we can't have a conversation if you're just going to keep, yelling into the phone. The point is, he's talking about, if you move out into the middle of nowhere, you're not going to have a job. Well, guess what? People moved into the middle of nowhere a long time ago. They moved west. They settled in the East Coast. Sure. They moved west. There were no jobs out in the places they moved. They created them. When people come into a place and there's nothing, and they have the freedom to build in that place, they have the freedom to create new opportunities. That's what people do. They build houses. They source food for one another. They provide entertainment for one another. I mean, this is like basic understanding of human migration. The idea that you have to have a job waiting for you to go somewhere is ridiculous. But as you pointed out, Chris, there's jobs available.
Right.
Plenty of them.
We have too many openings. And here's where we spend our entitlement programs.
He dropped off the line, by the way.
Yeah. We basically spend them. 60% of them go to Social Security and Medicare. So if an immigrant is coming here and collecting Social Security, then they obviously have put in time because you have to work. You have to pay into it before you get your benefits. And Medicare, I mean, that's intended for the elderly. These are not programs that are geared towards immigrants. Not to say there aren't. There are lots of them.
Yeah, well, we don't need you touched on this earlier, Chris, but the welfare program shouldn't exist at all.
Right.
Because, and this last caller was like, well, I think we should have welfare. Well, that's your problem. The fact that you think it's okay at all to have a government-forced redistribution of wealth program to only give it to the people that you think it should be given to. Well, the fact is, if there's a system, people are going to learn how to work that system.
That they will.
And so your best solution is to abolish welfare entirely and allow charities to take care of people, voluntarily funded. That way nobody feels like they're forced to support people. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Free Talk Live.
When you call a government bureaucracy, more often than not, the person who you talk to will not know the answer to your question, but they'll tell you they think they know who the person is that has the answer, and they will pass the buck to that other person, and if they happen to pick up the phone, they'll usually pass on the buck, or you'll leave a voicemail and never hear back from anybody.
Right. I mean, I wasn't being rude at the PSA at all. The third person I talked to, she was getting pretty hot under the collar. It's like, what are you being so angry for? I'm just asking regular questions any person would.
Well, she's probably upset that she had to pick up her phone and talk to one of the little peons like you.
She's probably annoyed at her underlings who actually gave you her phone number and let you get through to her.
Yeah, that's probably the case. She just wants to play solitaire, and you interrupted her game, or she just wants to surf on the internet, and you just ruined her day.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here and bring up anything that you want on this live Saturday edition, although we are starting out talking about immigration with the scary news. There's people, families who are trying to leave the murder capital of the world and Honduras and move somewhere north.
Yep.
Now, the speculation is that some of them want to go to the United States, and that's probably true. I don't know if all of them want to do that. Many of them may be satisfied just going to Mexico. It's probably a lot safer there.
Maybe they're headed to Canada with legalized marijuana.
You can't blame them.
Can't blame them.
We can talk about that a little bit later on, but I want to let you know about Liberty.menu. If you're a liberty-minded person, if you're a person who is an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you qualify to use Liberty.menu. If you don't, well, you're welcome to go look at it, but you really only should be using Liberty.menu if you're a liberty-minded person, if you care about freedom, because it's basically a libertarian business directory. Whether you're a business owner or you're an events coordinator, maybe you're just a digital content creator, if you want to reach other libertarians with the thing that you do, this is where you go to do it. Liberty.menu. You can create your own entries there. I know you've got one for Route 101 Local Goods, your little shop here in Keene.
And entry for Bitcoin Embassy, New Hampshire, too.
Excellent. You are on the ball. Good to know.
Absolutely.
And I've got a few things up there myself. You can go to liberty.menu and add your thing or multiple things to the site for free. Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL on your user panel to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Our toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Also, we got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. The migrants coming across the border I guess they're already in Guatemala, so I don't know what the scene was like between Honduras and Guatemala. They are now on the western side of Guatemala, nearby the ocean, so that side of the country, trying to cross into Mexico. Mexican immigration police are holding them back with rubber bullets, apparently, and tear gas as children. Families are simply trying to escape an absolute hellhole that they were living in. We'll continue here with your comments. Welcome. Let's talk to Terry in Mississippi. Terry, where are you calling from in Mississippi?
Oh, I'm from the Gulf Coast.
Welcome.
How you doing tonight?
You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Good, thanks.
Well, I have a question. I'm a retired police officer, and I was going to ask this question to y'all: how are we supposed to make sure these people or persons aren't illegal as far as criminals and stuff like that coming to the border?
I don't know. How about you just not worry about it?
Well, you have to worry about it because once they get into our system or into our areas, we have to backtrack, and we can't do that. That's just not
Well, why do you have to do any of that? Why not just let people come into a so-called free country, and then if they commit a crime, then you can go after them?
Hey, and let me ask you this: if I moved down there to Louisiana, Gulf Coast,
an area,
yeah.
Your record follows you.
Let's say, but I haven't done anything. So, what record are you going to see?
Well,
I mean, let's say I just moved down there. I rent a place. I start hanging out on the street. You've never seen me before.
Right, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but that's not always the case. We run into a situation where, like when Cuba exiled everybody and back in the 80s, I was a kid then. Yep. We didn't get the best of everybody. I mean, I understand that, but that's
you did not.
Just not the way
you know what
I'd
rather not have though? I'd rather not have a police state. Okay, so I'd rather take the risk of freedom and allowing people to come across an imaginary line in the sand, rather than building some insane wall and some insane level of a police state to try to enforce all these rules on people.
So what if we did the same thing that you're wanting Mexico to do, is we just open the door and we escort them to Canada? You think Canada will respond the same way?
It doesn't matter to me what Canada does. Right. Do you want to be like Canada?
Not right now. I don't know.
Okay. Well, then it doesn't matter. So you either value freedom or you don't. Okay, and you get to choose what your values are. I value freedom.
Who's funding this mass? I mean, that's one thing that
Who's funding them?
I don't.
They're thirsty. They're begging for water.
No. That's very unlikely that just thousands of people just started to leave at one time. That's my question.
So do you have
who's funding the mass?
Do you have a theory? I mean, because I've seen lots of things, that Soros is sending money down there and stuff like that. Do you have a theory?
That's not unusual, but
right.
That's what I'm asking is who's funding, because it's highly unlikely that 1,000 or 2,000 people just decided to leave at one time.
You don't seem to. Okay, so look. We're real fat and happy here in the United States, right? Like everybody here is well-fed. Everybody's in fact overfed. There's, plenty of overweight people in the United States. In some of these other places in the world, it's a little bit more difficult to live, and so people can self-organize into thronging masses of people. It happened in the streets in Venezuela. It's happened in the streets, apparently in Honduras as this group formed and came together. These things can happen sort of naturally through self-organization, through groups just kind of, communicating and coming together.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood the media. Then they said they were making ads and radio ads and stuff about people to organize that way. That's what I thought.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't heard that. Maybe that's true.
Hey, and I'm not going to discount that. I think it's completely possible. I've seen political parties do all sorts of insane things to try to swell their ranks at some point. But I also know that hunger is a real motivator.
Yeah.
And so are flying bullets.
I don't know what political party here it would benefit. I mean, the Democratic, the liberals, or the conservatives, as y'all call it. I don't know who that would benefit. That's not going to benefit any party, I believe, here.
Yeah, I don't think this is some sort of manipulation by someone in the United States to reach down into Honduras and throw some piddly amount of funding at them, because again, they need food and water, right? They're not well funded.
Right, I understand
that. No, but to connect a couple dots, I can't remember where I read it. It was just in the last day or two, but it was about organizations that were up here that were funneling money down there to assist them make the move
that's
north.
Charity.
Exactly. The question is, and I think this is a legitimate question, is it just charity to help them out? Or is some of that charity coming from political parties? All I'm saying here is that our politics are a cesspool, and sometimes these things do happen, even when it is for a good cause. Somebody's likely to see some votes in that, possibly.
Terry,
well, I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you'd called it. Your original point was about sort of the fear that there might be some dangerous people among this group of 4,000 or however many thousands of people there are.
That ties into that whole situation. If someone's bringing these people here for a certain reason or whatever, I'm not privy to that information. Is that if a bunch of migrant farmers wanted to come up here, okay, that's fine. But if someone's actually going down there and manipulating the situation and bringing them up here on purpose, That's what I have a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like pure speculation to me. But regardless, my question was going to be my co-host, who's normally here on Saturday nights, Mark Edge. He's a convicted felon, convicted murderer. He's now traveling around the United States, driving from state to state. Should there be somebody at the border to check him at every state border just to make sure and see he's not a violent felon? Because he is a violent felon.
Murder. Where he served his time.
Yeah.
As in what?
But he used to be a violent. He used to be a violent person, right? Like a bunch of years ago, he went to prison for murder.
He's not on probation. He's not on any type of paperwork work or anything like that. Completely served his time for murder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd have to see that because that's a really different situation.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the same thing, though, right? Like the idea is that one border is somehow sacred, but the rest of them, you got violent, so-called violent felons passing across them every single day. And you know what? Everything for the most part's okay because people who have criminal histories don't always continue a life of crime.
Okay, well, but that's a great point. But if that person, your friend, talks on the radio here, that's a convicted murderer, ever got back into the system somehow and did something somewhere else, because he's already in the system. We could already pinpoint him and get him back to where we need to get him. With people from illegal aliens, we don't even know who they are. We don't know their fingerprint.
The whole idea that the government needs to know who people are is disturbing to me. I thank you for the call tonight. I understand your perspective as a former police officer, and that's kind of what the government does. Is they want to catalog people. They want to know who you are. They want to know where you are.
Papers, please.
And to me, that doesn't sound like freedom. Now, if that sounds like freedom to you, I think you've got a real skewed viewpoint. More coming up here in moments. 855-450, free like freedom.
Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless.
We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick, call 888-211-7519.
We are digital.
Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech.
Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They show pride in every stitch. Guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We got toll-free numbers, though they're full right now, so if you're trying to call, you might be getting a busy signal. But we do have open lines on our Discord chat server. So check out discord.lrn.fm. And there are different chat rooms that are open. They're there 24 hours a day. There are people in them almost all times of the day and the night. It's a pretty great server. Lots of libertarians talking, but also non-libertarians as well. We don't have some sort of litmus test. Anybody is welcome on the server as long as you follow some basic rules, like no spamming, no flooding, those kind of chat rules. So go to discord.lrn.fm. You do need the Discord app if you want to use the audio feature that allows you to call our show through the Discord call-in lines that are open to you right now. So get discordapp.com, go grab the app there, get your account created, and then join us by going and typing in discord.lrn.fm in your browser, and that'll take you right into our server, and you'll be good to go. From that point forward, let's continue with your calls and thoughts. We're talking about the fear-mongering surrounding immigration, the idea that, oh my God, there might be somebody who's a criminal hiding among that mass of 4,000 or however many thousands of people there are that are ostensibly trying to cross the border into more relative safety than where they were coming from in Honduras, one of the most dangerous countries as far as murder rate, homicide rate in the world. And I don't know what the other violent crime rate is, but I suspect it's also pretty terrible there. So folks just trying to escape, but yet people are afraid that somebody bad might be in that group of families and children and, moms and dads, people who just want a better life for themselves. And the idea is that, well, we need to have a police state to check these people because there could be a criminal in there.
God forbid.
Chris, aren't you afraid?
No.
Why aren't you afraid? There could be criminals. They could commit murder.
I guarantee you there's a criminal within 10 miles of here who could commit murder.
Right.
Including
the police.
Exactly. I mean, they're already here.
But we don't want more of them, Chris. Don't we need to stop them from coming across the border?
Right. And that's why regular citizens who see things can do something about them. They can choose to call the police, which is what most people do. And
or just shoot them down on the spot if you're in a place like New Hampshire where odds are somebody's armed. I was at the before we go back to the phones here, I was at the Halloween premiere on Thursday night, so my night off here from the show. Halloween 2018, the new movie that continues the original one from 1978, 40 years ago.
Right.
So they ignored all the other Halloweens that have been made since then, and they actually continued it from the first one.
Here's the sequel.
Right.
Okay.
It was really good, by the way. If you're looking for a good slasher movie, this one, hit all the right notes. I highly recommend it, and it was actually pretty busy, the theater. So we're here in this little town of Keene, New Hampshire. It's pretty rare that you see anybody in this movie theater. It was almost, I would say, half full, which is like the busiest I've seen it in a while. And they had a guy in a Michael Myers outfit and mask with a knife, like lurking around menacing people. And it was fun, right? Like it was a lot of fun. We live in this time where there's been murders at theaters, right? Like with shootings and things like that. Horrifying things have happened at movie theaters. You would think this would be an inappropriate thing to do, but this is New Hampshire. It's like if this guy actually was a danger to anybody, if he actually did, try to stab somebody.
Right.
This is New Hampshire. There's a good chance 5 out of the 50 people or more have some kind of a firearm or other weapon on them in that movie theater. And you know what? We don't need to call the police.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the study, and I apologize for that, but this was a study that was commissioned during the Clinton years, and the results never really came out, but it was how many times are firearms used to stop crimes by regular citizens or used defensively to...
It's hard to calculate
to protect. Well,
because you can only go on what's reported.
Exactly, but there was a study that actually got done by the CDC, and the numbers of times that violent crimes were stopped, according to this study,
Wasn't it like 2.4 million or something?
It was.
Like that?
It was close to the number of violent crimes that occurred anyway. Just as many that went the other way. People
but were they
able
only
to
looking at
defend them.
reported ones, or were they estimating? Because
they were doing a couple different things. They looked at reported ones, and they also did a very large sample survey across a large number of states to try to discern.
Okay.
So there was some anecdotal evidence there too.
So I was going to say, if if a woman in a parking lot stops a guy from raping her or murdering her, assaulting her, stealing from her by pulling a gun and not firing it,
right?
I mean, generally you don't want to pull a gun unless you're prepared to fire it.
Sure.
But if she flashes the gun or something like that, and the dude turns around, and he runs the other way.
Yeah.
There's a chance she's never going to call the police. She's going to get in her car, a little, worked up, and probably adrenaline's pumping, but going to go home.
Wouldn't believe what happened to me on the way home today. Yeah, and that's the thing. And a lot of people are not going to call the police because they're going to be afraid that there's going to be paperwork. You know what I mean? You imagine? Yeah. I just pulled a gun on a guy. We'll be right there.
Or worse, they're in a state where guns are illegal, or a city in which guns are illegal, and they certainly don't want the police to show up and then find out they had a gun, because then they're going to go away in handcuffs. So, but yeah, we can let people, the average folks, protect average folks here in the United States from this fear that there might be somebody who's trying to get in here. I'm not willing to have a police state created, because that's the only solution. If you want to stop all these dastardly criminals that are lurking about trying to get in, then the solution is always build a bigger wall, put more guards out. We need to stop more people. We need to demand papers and all this stuff, and that's not freedom.
And then the same conservatives will complain about soaring federal budgets, and and that's the whole thing. That the most economical way, the way that makes the most economic sense is liberty. I hate to break it to you guys.
It's true.
It really is. When you look at the most cost-effective solutions, they involve keeping government out of things that people have taken care of throughout history.
Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Tracy's on the line in Kentucky, listening in Bowling Green to WKCT. Hello, Tracy.
Hello. Hey, thanks for taking my calls,
Yes, sir.
guys.
That's what we do.
Something that keeps concerning me about, you say something about there's not criminals coming over.
I didn't say that.
Several
I didn't say that.
Yeah, me either, but go ahead.
I said I'm not afraid of them enough to demand a police state be created, which is what you guys, who support immigration restrictions...
Wait a second. I agree with that. I'm not about a police state. I'm a 55-year-old libertarian.
Oh,
There was
fantastic.
one.
I apologize. I
But
jumped to a
do have
conclusion.
Thank you for your
Problem
service.
is, fortunately, we have laws. And these third world countries don't really have those type of laws. So we got people coming over. They don't know our laws. Our prisons
Do you
are
think
getting
murder
full.
is legal in Honduras?
I think people murder people in third world countries and get away with it, and then they get murdered for doing it. That's what happens. But anyway,
People get
long
away
story
with murder
short,
all the time in the United States. Just like to point that out. Many of them go unsolved.
At least,
Especially if
I agree
they're
with that.
cops.
At least they get investigated. Well,
How great are the cops investigating each other committing murder? Because it seems like they get let off that all the time.
Terrible. I can't agree more with you on that, okay?
All right.
But I'm saying the legal age to have sex with a girl over is like 13, if there is a legal age. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. They come over here. Listen to them. Hear me out. They come over here, and they don't know our laws. So our prisons get full. I'm not talking about a police state, but you can't.
The age of consent in Honduras is 15 years old.
Okay, Mexico is 13, but that's not. It's still too young. My point is, their laws are different than ours. It's a violent place they live in. They come to a civil country, and they're not used to living like we live. Their culture is different.
We've not accepted people from violent countries before.
Yeah, these are like the same old. I'm sorry, I thought you said you were on our side because it definitely doesn't sound like you are.
Well, when you say on our side, I am a libertarian.
Okay, but you're not in favor of freedom, right? So you're not in favor of the freedom to travel, like one of the most basic freedoms.
Oh yeah, but you got to do it the right way. Here we go.
The right way means to ask permission. Means to ask some bureaucrat to give you their approval before you can cross some line in the sand somewhere because you're afraid that people don't know the rules. These are the same objections that have been brought up from time immemorial.
I know they don't know the laws over here. That's why our
Do you know the laws over here? Have you ever read them?
I don't know the laws.
Yeah, I don't either.
I know enough to probably stay out of prison up until now.
You don't know. Here's the thing. You don't know what you're talking about, okay? Thank you for the call, Tracy. I appreciate it. You have not read the laws. I know you haven't. Most of the cops haven't read all the laws. And most people are committing, 3 felonies a day, Chris? I think there's a book written.
I'm one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter, A Crime a Day. Ian, it is a federal crime to transport fire extinguishers if they contain an extinguishing agent that's flammable.
Okay. Federal crime.
That's a federal crime. It's a federal crime to have a gun if you're also a marijuana user.
It's terrible.
Right. I could go on and on and on and on.
And people don't know what the laws are because there are too many of them. There's no way you could possibly know what the laws are. But I think most people everywhere in the world know that it's wrong to hurt their neighbor.
Golden rule.
Yeah, it's real simple. It used to be when they said ignorance of the law was no excuse. That's what they meant. The ignorance of natural law of, hey, do no harm to your neighbors. We don't need a bunch of written down words on paper by politicians who are liars and thugs. Hour 2's coming up.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, October 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,227 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,499. Antiwar.com reports U.S. airstrikes against the town of Sousse, one of the last territories held by the Islamic State in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province, killed at least 32 civilians, many of them women and children, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. This is one of two towns still under control of the Islamic State in eastern Syria, which have been targeted by an offensive by U.S. and Kurdish forces. These are among the first major airstrikes hitting the town itself in the past 24 hours. U.S. officials have yet to comment on the matter, but it's not hard to see how it could have happened, as they have struggled to show progress on the ground and are looking to provide more support for Kurdish forces trying to advance. The problem is intelligence on the ground in Syria is never very good, and that means the U.S. really only knows it's hitting a town that's under control of the Islamic State, not that it's hitting combatants or civilians. Unfortunately, this never seems to deter U.S. airstrikes. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a Michigan man cleared of rape charges after DNA evidence proved his innocence has sued the Grand Rapids police who arrested him for violating his civil rights. Xavier Jawan Davis was arrested in January for sexually assaulting 2 women, including one at gunpoint. The only evidence police had before taking him into custody was a police sketch of a black man, which Davis said did not even look like him. Davis told M Live, "I'm telling them, you have the wrong person. There's got to be a mistake. You guys are making a mistake." But police put him in jail and kept him there even after cell phone and Uber records they found in March indicated he was not at the scene. And DNA evidence that proved the suspect was somebody else was still not enough to convince police to release Davis, according to the lawsuit. Davis spent 129 days in jail before he was released. During that time, he was assaulted in jail, lost 2 jobs, and his home. When he was finally released, he was homeless. His mugshot was also published by local media outlets, naming him as the suspect in the violent sexual assault. Davis said, "When the judge signed the PR bond, I was overwhelmed with excitement, but at the same time, I was nervous. What are people going to think? What are people going to say?" Davis is suing the city of Grand Rapids and the 3 investigators in the Grand Rapids Police Department for unlawful imprisonment, arrest, and prosecution. Officials for the city of Grand Rapids have not commented on the lawsuit. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports President Donald Trump reiterated his support for a Montana congressman who body-slammed a reporter last year, even as he came under criticism on Friday from U.S. lawmakers and press organizations. Trump's praise for Greg Gianforte, a Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives who pled guilty to assault charges for the incident involving a reporter, coincides with an international outcry over the disappearance of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Trump told a political rally in Missoula, Montana on Thursday night, referring to Gianforte, "Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my guy." On Friday, asked whether he regretted praising Gianforte amid the Khashoggi controversy, Trump said he did not. Trump drew rebukes from several lawmakers, including U.S. Senators Jeff Flake and Patrick Leahy, as well as Gianforte's Democratic opponent Kathleen Williams, and from the spokeswoman for the United Kingdom's Prime Minister. Theresa May's spokeswoman told reporters on Friday, "He obviously made comments at a political rally, and those are for him, but more generally, we would always say that any violence or intimidation against a journalist is completely unacceptable." You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Last month, the FDA approved Hallucex, a new class of weight loss drug that helps users avoid overeating by producing nightmarish hallucinations whenever food is around. Hallucex targets the brain's cerebral cortex, stimulating the centers responsible for fear and visual processing. Test subjects reported an unprecedented decrease in appetite and showed dramatic weight loss, with only 18% reporting night terrors or subsequent cardiac arrest.
It's designed to make fatty and sugary foods even scarier. An apple just looks like it has fangs, but a milkshake will threaten you and your family by name.
Earlier incarnations of the drug proved to be too powerful and produced mental states in which test subjects no longer believed that food had ever existed. An unshakable belief that the subject had to eat all of the food on the planet in order to prevent food from rising up and destroying the human race.
No, you don't understand. I have to do this.
Or the conviction that food could be negotiated with diplomatically. With the Lab Report, I'm Aisha Patel.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in here, toll free. Take control of the airwaves as we launch into the second hour of the program. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
Also, you can dial in toll free to join us here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You want to sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us. That's the way to do it. It's the best way you can connect to us. And it's free, so check it out, discord.lrn.fm. If you're just tuning in, we have full phones as people want to weigh in regarding the age-old controversy over freedom to travel. Immigration is what has a lot of people on the edge of their seats right now, with thousands of Hondurans trying to make it into Mexico at the Guatemalan border, so the southern border of Mexico. They're sort of on the western side, over by, not quite to the ocean, but somewhere in that range. And they have been stopped by Mexican border guards, and they're shooting at them, for instance. The border guards are shooting at the people trying to cross with rubber bullets. They're throwing tear gas, trying to keep people out of Mexico. And, of course, Trump has weighed in on this, apparently. And according to Yahoo.com's report, this is from the AFP. According to this, various caravans have been traveling by bus or on foot from Honduras, converging in recent days on the town of Tecún, Guatemala, near the border bridge. Authorities in Ciudad Hidalgo on the Mexican side were expecting around 3,000 migrants to arrive in total. Back in Honduras, hundreds marched in the capital, Tegucigalpa, in solidarity with their compatriots. On Thursday, Trump branded the migrant caravan an, quote, onslaught and a, quote, assault on our country, unquote, in a series of typically fiery tweets. So, once again, what are mostly peaceful families who are trying to migrate out of a dangerous place to a less dangerous place are being painted as some sort of a onslaught and an assault, as though these people are a danger, as though we need to be protected from people who just want to make a better life for themselves. And I find this kind of I don't know if dehumanization is the right word, but I find this to be distasteful and
it's making an assumption about people we don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Turns them into the enemy. It makes them.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's no different to me than putting up posters of Japanese people in World War II with
the dirty Japs,
big buck teeth, and thick Coke bottle glasses.
Well, it's convenient if the government has a scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
Somebody that they can distract you with. Oh, see, these people, they're the problem. We need bigger government over here so we can deal with this problem. So we're just going to have to make the government bigger now.
So let's flip it around. Let's say that we listen to the conservatives who actually promote the things that they keep saying, and we let's end the welfare state. Ian?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that.
They don't say that, though. The conservatives don't say that.
Well, they do.
No, they don't. Not a single one of them. We had one on the phone earlier who was like, well, no, we need welfare. We just need it for people who I think should have it.
They'll use it as a talking point. They'll say that, yes, we need to close the welfare state, asterisk, and then they'll list off all the things. But we're not going to touch Social Security, and we're not going to touch Medicare.
That ain't ending the welfare state, then.
Oh, I know that. But let's just say
they like their welfare just fine.
Exactly. But what would happen if we actually ended our welfare programs? Guess what would happen, people? Immigration would increase because suddenly the United States would be like the only free country where you weren't having to pay for all of these welfare programs.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, but what would that do to immigration? Of course,
Bring 'em
people
on.
would flock here.
Let's do it. Let's create more jobs, because the more people that come here, the more jobs need to get created, because they also, in addition to providing a service, they also provide a demand, right? They provide a supply and they provide a demand. So new jobs will have to be created to service all those new people coming in, and so on and so forth. This is how economics works. You can keep feeding new people into a free system, and it can continue to accept them.
Right.
We got more coming up here. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. He's, let's see, Don is here first in Florida, listening to WVFT in Tallahassee on the FM band. Go ahead, Don. Don? Hello?
This is John.
I'm sorry, John. They misspelled your name there. Go ahead, John.
Hey, I've been listening to you guys tonight, and I listen quite a bit to a lot of talk radio.
Yeah.
And the thing is to try and have a conversation without cutting somebody off and just telling them they're wrong all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You cut the last guy off. I thought it was kind of rude. And you're right about he probably doesn't know all the laws, which a lot of us don't. And I think there's different situations for different states, like where you live on the border, for one thing. If you're living on private property and people are coming onto your property and killing your livestock and just trampling over your area. Like I say, I think it's just different for different parts of the United States. Even the work thing, if you live in a small area where there's not a lot of jobs, and then there's people coming from somewhere else who haven't been making the money that you make, I understand that there's a free system, that you have to let the markets do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just the thing. There's a lot of laws. I agree with you on that. I'm not calling to say, well, you're wrong, or I think this. That's not the way to have a conversation. That's the good thing about your show, is that you can call in and have a conversation, but I don't think you should cut people off so quick.
Well, no, we don't generally cut people off quickly. Usually, people get plenty of time to say what they have to say. There are some exceptions to that, but go ahead. What else do you want to say? I mean, it sounds like what you're saying here is that you're concerned that there'll be competition for jobs?
No. I said that what I'm trying to say is there's different situations for different states.
Okay.
Listen now, you have a Free Talk Live, you have a show. I'm assuming you don't collect a salary.
That's correct. Yeah, we do sell some advertising, and that helps fund our operations here.
Right. So a lot of people are out here trying to feed their families, and then when their jobs are put at risk by someone else who wants to do it for $1 where they were doing it for $2 or whatever, now they're worried about their families.
Yeah.
And you're saying to just let anybody walk in here willy-nilly, talking a language you don't know.
Let's look at the industries that most immigrants find themselves in. They find themselves in the Midwest, meat packing and agriculture. So those are two big things that a lot of immigrants do. Why? Because they can't find anyone else who will take those jobs. In the hospitality areas all across the country.
But Chris, you're dodging the issue. Isn't there a possibility that somebody's going to come in here and offer to do your job for less?
I dare say that I am not afraid of a migrant coming in who's going to operate a local goods store in Keene, New Hampshire, and have a better feel for the local flavor than I do.
I mean, if you had one of these jobs, let's say you're working in construction or something like that.
I've worked in IT.
Right,
I worked in IT, but no, that didn't bother me either. The point is that if I lose my job, I could as easily lose my job to the guy who lives 3 blocks down from me as I could lose my job to a migrant. It's up to me to protect that job. Now, the other thing I think is important that you touched upon, and that's property rights.
What would you do to protect it?
Me? If I lived on the border, I'd protect it with an AR-15.
Your job?
Excuse me, my property. I'm sorry.
He was talking about jobs, I thought.
Okay, I thought we were hopping around here. I think one other thing, and this was just a point I wanted to make, the issue is, and you brought up different states and different areas and things like that, and I think that's important. What is lacking in any of this, what the only solution people want to hear is, what's the federal government going to do about our migration problem? And here you have, let's take California. California doesn't really fear migrant workers. They seem to embrace them. So they're being very accepting. They're even defying federal laws and saying, you know what, we are a sanctuary city, and doing all sorts of things like that. While some other state, let's say it's Mississippi or Alabama, that has, say it's really high unemployment, why can't they choose what they want to do locally down there? Now, I'm not advocating a government solution, but I am certainly not advocating a national
You're saying the federal
program.
government
The federal government decide for everybody.
Don, I thank you for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your job is never safe. You always have to be the best you can be.
You? Yeah, you.
Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless.
We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick, call 888-211-7519.
We are digital.
Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech.
Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Saturday edition here. We'll take your calls about anything you want to discuss. Just dial in toll free and join us. Our number 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com, great place to go if you want to learn about cryptocurrency. They've got the Bitcoin.com Academy there. You can learn about Bitcoin BTC and Bitcoin Cash as well. Bitcoin.com also has the latest news headlines on their news site, updated daily with stories from across the globe in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Go to news.bitcoin.com to go straight to that part of their site, or again, just start over at bitcoin.com and explore and see what you can find. All kinds of good information and useful features are there, and a lot of them are free. So we continue here with your calls and thoughts. A lot of people feel very strongly about immigration. Let's see what Steve has to say in Virginia, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I'm completely with you guys as far as like freedom of movement and everything. But when I think about that, you kind of got to think about it within the confines of the system we're in now, because right now we're not in a completely free. We're not in a completely free system right now.
Right. No argument there.
So what I worry about is if someone undocumented comes here and they go somewhere where they don't check voter IDs, or maybe they're even given the privilege to vote, they're not going to vote for freedom.
What makes you you say that?
Yeah, and which party exactly is the Freedom Party?
Well, I would say neither of them are the Freedom Party.
Okay.
So no more harm done.
So they're basically just like everybody else who's not voting for freedom then, in that case.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just kind of learning about some of this stuff. I'm a recovering conservative, I guess you could say.
That's okay. Yeah. We all start somewhere.
I did too, believe me.
I've discovered a few voices on the libertarian and I guess you could say anarchist point of views.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, until we live in a free system, I mean, I would say neither of them are for freedom.
Nope.
But they would definitely vote for Democrats. And while both of them want to take your freedoms away, I kind of see it as at least right now that there may be a bit more on the tyrannical side.
Historically that wasn't necessarily the case, right? A lot of migrants from Mexico, for instance, are Catholic conservatives.
Huge conservative blocks,
who would have been more likely to vote for the Republicans, but then the Republicans took this sharp turn towards, being anti-immigrant, and so you can't blame somebody for, finding out about that and being a little turned off.
Well, and the Democrats, I think, have done a great job of demonizing the Republican Party. Basically saying they hate you. And they've done the same thing, I think, with race. That the Republicans hate you because of your nationality, hate you because of your color. And it's not fault.
Is it all the Democrats, though, that did that? I mean, because the Republicans, some of the things they say, I mean, they definitely play right into that.
I'm gonna say,
stereotype.
I mean, it is certainly part of the national dialogue, and I don't think the Democratic Party really wants to let go of racism and immigration because it's one of those things that they can rile up their base with. That's what riles people up, and I'm a recovering conservative too, so we usually start by saying, hi, Steve. Hi, Chris. Get your coffee and donut on your way into the meeting.
There's a 12-step program.
Exactly. I'll be outside smoking cigarettes later. But I think, politics plays into it. I mean, I think we tend to downplay how much of an effect it has, but even this immigration issue, it's all being played out on a national stage by predominantly Republican spokespeople and Democratic spokespeople, and they each have their pitching their battle.
It's a political football.
That's
all it is. Right. These people are being used for political gain on both sides, and that's what it is.
Of course.
And they're hungry and starving and just trying to get across the border so they can make a better life for themselves, and these people are taking advantage of them.
In the meantime, both of them see it as an opportunity to gain votes, gain power.
Steve, any other comments? Go ahead.
I would just say that, I would agree if we were talking about dissolving the U.S. government, I would completely be 100% for it.
Hell yes.
There you go.
Secession is an idea whose time has come again. Thank you for the call, Steve. I appreciate it. I don't really care if you dissolve it or not. Let's just get out of it.
Can I just leave?
If enough people
That's all I want.
leave, if enough state governments say that, all right, we've had it. This was an interesting experiment. It didn't really work out, and you got to be able to admit when something's not working out so you can try something different.
Yeah.
And this hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. The United States is not a free country. Nobody says it's a free country anymore. You almost never hear that. A decade ago on this show, we'd get people calling in now and then saying it's a free country. It wasn't then either, but you don't even hear it anymore.
It's the freest country on earth, Ian.
I just had a Democrat
Or
canvasser.
number 17 or 16.
There was a guy out canvassing for the Democrats today here in Keene, New Hampshire. It was actually nice and warm out. I was on the front porch hanging out here getting a little work done. And dude comes up to the porch and asks me if I'm going to be voting. And, got into a conversation with him. Turns out he's pretty frustrated by both of the political parties as well. And this is the guy who's canvassing for the Democrats.
Nice.
So, there's a palpable level of disappointment and I think frustration, at the very least on the national level, with a lot of these major political party people.
Yeah. And I've told you about our coffee party thing that we've got going up in the town that I live in. It's basically the idea that you get a bunch of people, a bunch of Democrats and a bunch of conservatives, Republicans together in a room, and we all practice how to talk nicely to each other. I'm the token libertarian in this, but really, it's the idea is to discuss national issues, to brainstorm ideas, and practice civil discourse, because civility is really something that's been lost. Yeah. But even
is
there,
it working out?
It's still going on. It's still going. It's been like a year and a half, and you still get 10 or 12 people showing up.
People are getting along. They're not fighting one another?
No fights, no shootings.
Okay, good.
I'm good. Nobody's trying to immigrate into it yet.
A little communication goes a long way,
Yeah.
I think, between people. You can build bridges, find things that you agree on rather than focusing on things you disagree on. Let's continue like we do here on Free Talk Live. Let's go to Justin in Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Well, what I have to say is that when it comes to the border security, we should be using technology instead of an absurd, expensive wall. Like,
tell me more. What do you mean? What kind of technology?
Well, like, you know how around like Area 51, they use sensors to detect people.
I presume. I mean, I've never been there.
Okay.
Well, that's how they do it. I mean, there's been documentaries.
I believe
all
you.
about it.
Yeah.
Well,
seismic
what I'm saying
sensors
is
and things like that.
The border wall can be defeated with a ladder or a tunnel.
Right.
It's just absurd to build this gigantic brick wall. I mean, do you know how long it is
It's
from
a long way.
California to the Gulf of Mexico?
It's going to be a government boondoggle. It would be they're going to say it's going to cost X and it's going to cost 10 times X, because that's how government does things.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to bring you back here,
we'll
Justin.
talk to you.
We'll bring you back. I want to hear more about your ideas for technology, because I'm still not interested in a techno police state. Whether it's a wall police state or a techno police state or whatever, I'm not interested in that.
I hear you.
And if you care about freedom, you shouldn't be either, because those things will be used to control you eventually. They won't put it in under that reason, but that's what'll happen. There's more coming up here in moments. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We promote the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse and invite you to try them today by visiting gcnlife.com. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Jeunesse products have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here on the radio. You can take control of the airwaves. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
855-450, free, 855-450-3733. Also, discord.lrn.fm gets you on our Discord call-in lines where there's some people waiting, which we will get to you as well. Do be patient as we continue. I want you to know about Zen Cash rebranding to Horizon, because Horizon is a bigger vision than just a cryptocurrency. Horizon's a privacy platform. They've got private chat, and they've got some big plans for privacy on into the future as well. You can go and learn more about it at horizon.global. It's spelled HORIZEN.global. And we've been doing giveaways over the last 10 weeks or so here on Free Talk Live, giving away over 14.5 Zen. You could win some. Here's how you do it. The next prize is going to be pulled on Wednesday. And you will win, if you're the winner, 1.75 Zen. So that's probably like $25 worth of Zen or somewhere around that amount.
Nice.
And you can win this easily. All you have to do is set up your Zen wallet. You can get the official one at horizon.global. You can use Koinomi if you like. Whatever wallet can accept Zen. You set that up. You send your public Zen address to Daryl at freetalklive.com. DARRYL at freetalklive.com. And winner will be randomly selected from all the entries as of Wednesday. So you got a little time to get this in. Just email Daryl at freetalklive.com with your public Zen address, and you could win. And if you don't win, that's okay. You're automatically entered into the grand prize drawing, which will happen in November. So keep that in mind. As we continue, we got Justin. He's on the line in Virginia listening to WNIS. Justin, you said you can understand how the wall idea is a huge government boondoggle and a huge waste of money because it can be easily defeated, but you have an idea for some kind of technology that you want to see implemented. Let me hear a little more about that, please.
Well, we have drones, we have satellite, we have many other ways of protecting our border. I mean, we have to make our country continue as a sovereign nation, and you cannot just let anybody who wants to just come in.
Well, you can.
We did.
And we did for a long time.
Yeah, we did that for 100-plus years.
Yeah, and it made the country the most prosperous country on the planet.
It did. But, go ahead.
Yeah, there's the big but.
Tell me why that didn't work. How did we have the greatest revolution in industry and the greatest advance in our economy than we've ever seen after relatively no border enforcement?
Well, because you had different inflow from different countries with different mentalities.
So we got to choose better countries?
You had European mentality was already going for the Industrial Revolution.
So how about the Chinese and Japanese that came over here to work on our railroads?
Oh, well, see, most of those were pretty much used as slave labor.
They were.
I've never understood. And here's the thing: their rules. They say that, oh well, these Mexicans, they can come over and do the jobs that no one wants to do, but they want to pay them nothing. And then they just send that money back to Mexico.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, we have that because we're forced to pay exorbitant amounts of money for jobs that don't deserve exorbitant amounts of money, like making a
but
hotel
then they don't
room.
pay any taxes.
Sure, they do.
Pay any taxes.
Yeah,
a lot of them do.
People
actually
love to say that, but that's not true in any sense. A lot of illegal immigrants still end up taking jobs that they face deductions. They still have to pay even if they're paying rent. You're still subsidizing property taxes. So you have all these. If you buy anything in a grocery store in a state that actually taxes groceries, you're paying taxes. If you're buying gasoline, you're paying taxes.
A lot of them pay taxes on what you're talking about, like Social Security, but they can't ever collect it because they're using somebody else's number or whatever.
And if they do,
so no matter what, you come to this country, taxation is theft.
It is.
So they just steal from you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the government stealing from you. That's the government, extorting from you and stealing from people. Look, if somebody wants to go out and bust their butt on a farm, hauling watermelons or cantaloupes or whatever all day long, breaking their back, and then go back home for 6 hours before they got to get back up at the crack of dawn again after, working for however many 16 hours in a day or whatever long, these long days are. If they want to do that and get paid per X amount per watermelon or whatever, and then they want to send that money back down south, so what?
Yeah, I tell them,
what's wrong with that?
Bitcoin,
well, yeah,
it's easier.
To each their own. But as long as you want to make this argument kind of be, my whole point was that there's a better way to go about border security than building some stupid wall.
So you want to see a techno state? You want to see like a techno police state, basically? You mentioned drones earlier. Does that make you feel safe when you have drones hovering above your city?
No, actually it doesn't. But what I'm saying
how about,
is that
whoa, before you go on, how about when you stop at a internal border checkpoint or internal immigration checkpoint? You ever been stopped at one of those before?
Has to prove that you were a U.S. citizen?
Let me stop you there. Have you ever seen the movie Southland Tales?
I've not.
I've not either.
It basically there's an identity system that's set up in this movie, and every single person on the planet basically has their genetic ID.
That sounds really creepy.
Sounds horrible.
And, yeah.
Is that what you want?
Well, let me put this in perspective. Just today was the first time I watched the movie 1984.
Okay.
So it's been a really interesting day for me.
And here we are talking about this.
I'm sitting out here in my shed. I'm throwing darts. I'm drinking beer, and I'm kind of trying to get the edge off because
Am I Wilson Smith? Winston
Well, it's hard
Smith.
enough in society as it is right now, being a libertarian, because you're just like, the devil to both political parties.
Yeah.
God knows. I've got everyone in my family, they're a libertarian in training right now.
Okay. Good. I'd look at the whole thing and I go, we don't need technology. Technology in the hands of government really tends to go
Well,
wrong.
and
it's used for evil.
It is. It's more often used to spy on us than it is to defend against the us. Keep in mind, all the NSA programs were designed to keep us safe. They were only to go after terrorists and things like that. And then we find out through Edward Snowden that, no, we're monitoring your communications. And I just don't trust them. That's it.
Well, there's no need for trust because, all right, now there's this whole thing like money is the root of evil, but
it's not.
Really not. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
I agree
technology
with you.
is just a tool.
I totally agree.
So we can use technology to secure our border, but we don't have to be.
See, the thing you're missing here is when you turn something over to the government,
right?
They're going to use it against you. And you may think you're creating some sort of security at the border, but the reality is it's going to be used to keep you in. It's going to be used to track you, and maybe it'll be used to keep some people out. But this whole network, this whole control grid that you essentially are promoting here, talking about this techno police state, is absolutely going to be used against you. I can tell you, I went through one of these border checkpoints, and thank you, by the way, Justin, for the call. I appreciate the discussion. I went through one of these things over the summer. And our other co-host Mark Edge went through one in El Paso, Texas. But I went through the one that was in Woodstock, New Hampshire,
right,
on the interstate there, and they were stopping 100% of the cars going through this checkpoint on the interstate.
Well, they must have probable cause. Did you have a big marijuana leaves on your car, Ian?
No.
I
had a Bitcoin sticker.
Were you Bitcoin sticker?
Yeah, Bitcoin
You weren't
sticker.
flying a Russian flag.
No, I wasn't.
They messed with
They were
our
flying
election.
the American flag, though, real high, real
Really?
proud.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can tell you, it didn't feel like freedom to me. Does anybody feel free when they're sitting there waiting for... I mean, it wasn't that long of a line because it happened to be a middle of the day on the weekend and there wasn't that many people in northern New Hampshire on the interstate that day. But it still took, 10 minutes to get up to or 10 or 15 minutes to get up to the checkpoint part.
Right.
And there's multiple guards, and there's a dog being walked down the aisles of cars. What do you think what do you think would have happened if that dog had all of a sudden smelt something?
All I know is the Fourth Amendment does not exist.
Not there.
Not there.
There's more coming up here in moments. 855-450 free. And if you want to talk about abolishing the right to privacy, which is the idea behind the Fourth Amendment, well, you're not going to have privacy anymore. Do you value that?
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves, and the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Big thanks to Bitcoin Photographer. That's what he wanted us to call him. He's a Free Talk Live amplifier. He gives $5 a month to Free Talk Live to support what we do here to help us get on more radio stations, bring new internet listeners on board, expand the message of freedom and peace and liberty and cryptocurrency as far and as wide as we can. That's what the AMP program's all about. And you get some cool perks as well, like Bitcoin Photographer has done. Just go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can get signed up there. You can use Bitcoin, BTC, to sign up if you like.
You bet.
You can also use credit card. You can also use PayPal. So it's up to you how you want to support the show. But it makes a big difference for us when you do that. So thank you to everybody that amps the show. Thanks to everybody who has amped in the show. Some people have to, they have to leave for whatever reason. They, lost a job or are moving somewhere. They need to save a little bit of extra money. And a lot of them come back when they get all their finances straight. So definitely appreciate everybody out there.
Very cool.
Supporting us at the AMP program. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Turd Ferguson. He's on the line on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Every time we have this conversation on Free Talk Live, there are a bunch of conservatives call in, and they're basically the conservatives from South Park that go, "They took our jobs." It's like the same guys.
To be fair, there was only one of those guys tonight. There was only one person who brought up the fear that he might lose his job to immigrant competition.
Right. Yeah, but they all have the same attitude, though. And then there was the one gentleman who claimed to be a 55-year-old libertarian, but then he started talking about these words called laws and things when there was when he wasn't talking about murder or stealing. He was talking about just crossing imaginary lines drawn on maps.
Well, for a lot of people, libertarian means this: I don't like Republicans and I don't like Democrats. therefore I must be a libertarian.
Well, some
right?
people think that being small government is a libertarian thing.
Right.
So while they may agree with libertarians on some issues, and they may see, how freedom works in some places, they don't really truly understand the principle of non-aggression, which is in my opinion, the true definition of a libertarian. Now, I know if some other hosts were here, they would argue with me about that. But to me, a libertarian is somebody who adheres to the non-aggression principle, which is to say that they don't believe in the use of aggressive force to achieve their goals in life, political or social or whatever goals.
Yep.
So that's what libertarianism is. And people that stray from that, well, they're not being libertarian on whatever issue they're straying from that on.
I think a lot of people just don't understand libertarianism.
Oh, I agree.
And I think that's sort of my goal in life, is try to come up with ways to explain that to regular people.
Well, I think it's also funny that they claim to be pro-small government, but I think there's nothing more big government utopian than try to block people from crossing lines that are on maps. I think that's a huge big government idea.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't, on one hand, claim to be for small government and then demand the government get larger. Oh, just in this one area.
Right.
No, I want it small everywhere else, but this one should be big. We need a big border patrol, a big military, big, big, big.
And even though I'm a Republican, I will not touch your Social Security. I will not touch your Medicare. And we need more money for the military.
Yes,
small government.
I've been almost convincing more and more conservatives to become libertarian and even have more socially tolerant viewpoints just by convincing them that I'm actually more far right than them, and that angers them.
Yes.
And then they're like, hey, well yeah, I'm socially tolerant on traveling now too, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So
any other comments, Turd Ferguson?
Yeah, well, because Daryl made me mad the other night because I asked him where Sexy Heather was, and then all of a sudden he just hung up on me, and I was like, what the heck? It bummed me out. I was like,
oh,
I don't know. I just thought it was really rude that he hung up on me like that.
Well, she's on. I think she still comes in the chat server every now and then, so you can probably tag her at the Discord server at discord.lrn.fm, which is how you're calling us. So that's probably your best way to reach her, because I doubt she wants us to give out her phone number. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Oh, and you got to move to New Hampshire if you want to have a chance to meet Heather. That's probably the only way it's going to work out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to live in New Hampshire, but I moved home. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad. Why'd you leave?
I moved back closer to my family.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So you couldn't get them to move up here with you then, huh?
No, I couldn't, or my friends either, unfortunately. Yeah, I was. Yeah, but that's okay though.
That's another story for another time. Thanks, Turd Ferguson, for the call. Man. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, or you can do like Turd Ferguson there and jump on our on-air call-in line rooms, and you will sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us as we go to the phones, where William in Kentucky is on the line. William, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Welcome.
First-time caller, first-time listener.
Oh, wow.
I just found out on the map, so.
Welcome. You're on the air.
My dad told me a long time ago, during the Vietnam War, I was a young man, and we were watching TV, and he looked at me and he said, son, he said, you see those people demonstrating against the war? He says, they're not wrong for demonstrating against the war, but just realize that one of those people might be your president someday. And I remembered that.
Okay. What's the point?
Yeah.
The point is that we have to look at... I've always considered myself an independent as far as politics are concerned.
Okay.
Libertarian, I know very little about. But when you travel to the other parts of the world, I was in the military for many years, and you've been places where you have controlled points, not border guards, but checkpoints everywhere you're going.
Yeah.
It changes your perspective of your country.
Kind of like
you appreciate it more.
Kind of like New Hampshire.
Wait. So what you're saying? Hold on, just to clarify, you're saying that when you're in when you're in a foreign land and there's a bunch of checkpoints, it makes you appreciate being able to be back in the United States, where you didn't have to encounter those in the 1970s and 80s.
Right, but we have them now.
Right.
I can travel anywhere in the United States I want to go.
Well, you may get stopped.
There are internal border checkpoints that will absolutely stop you if you encounter one of them. And so, no, you cannot travel unless you get stopped and harassed by border guards.
So, from your point of view, would that upset you?
No.
Why not?
I was a kid when we went through California one time and got stopped at a border check because they were checking for fruits and vegetables.
Yep, California has those.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That doesn't bother me.
No, why not?
What is your definition of freedom?
Mine?
Is
leave me alone. That's pretty much it. What I do, as long as I'm not harming anyone else, is my business. That to me is freedom. If I harm someone else, then I have violated their freedom, and they are free to correct me. I'll just put it that way. But
okay.
But my idea is that people are responsible for themselves.
Okay. My idea of freedom is this: a word picture. Take a section of land. How large is a section of land?
640 acres.
Okay, correct. Let's put a fence around it.
Okay.
Put one cow in there. Okay. That cow can go anywhere within that 640 acres. It can do anything it needs, whatever cows do, and they can do it.
Yep. Okay. I'm with you. Tracking.
Freedom has boundaries. Freedom has, like you said, if I bother somebody and hurt somebody or do something to somebody, then I stand that I need to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
But freedom is not carte blanche when you're as a citizen of the United States. I have a birth certificate that certifies I am an American. Correct?
It says you were
I have
born.
no idea where you're going with this.
Yeah, and again,
it's very disjointed.
There's no correlation between citizenship and a birth certificate. It just says that you were indeed born here. I guess you could.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with your thought.
Let's go to the people coming from Guatemala.
Okay.
There's 4,000 people coming across that border.
4,000
coming through Mexico. Now
Okay.
wait a minute. Now let me slow down a minute. There's 4,000. That's a lot of people. When they get to the border here,
Yep.
Are they just going to walk in and be illegal immigrants, or do we make them get a visa? Because we have to have some way.
We gotta have control. We need to control people because that's freedom, right, William? Thanks for the call tonight. We got to bring other people on here.
All right.
Appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We need control because fear. There's scary things out there, and that's why we can't have freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com. That's gusset.com. Or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, October 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,227 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,499. Antiwar.com reports U.S. airstrikes against the town of Sousse, one of the last territories held by the Islamic State in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province, killed at least 32 civilians, many of them women and children, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. This is one of 2 towns still under control of the Islamic State in eastern Syria, which have been targeted by an offensive by U.S. and Kurdish forces. These are among the first major airstrikes hitting the town itself in the past 24 hours. U.S. officials have yet to comment on the matter, but it's not hard to see how it could have happened, as they have struggled to show progress on the ground and are looking to provide more support for Kurdish forces trying to advance. The problem is intelligence on the ground in Syria is never very good, and that means the U.S. really only knows it's hitting a town that's under control of the Islamic State, not that it's hitting combatants or civilians. Unfortunately, this never seems to deter U.S. airstrikes. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a Michigan man cleared of rape charges after DNA evidence proved his innocence has sued the Grand Rapids police who arrested him for violating his civil rights. Xavier Jawan Davis was arrested in January for sexually assaulting 2 women, including one at gunpoint. The only evidence police had before taking him into custody was a police sketch of a black man, which Davis said did not even look like him. Davis told M Live, "I'm telling them, you have the wrong person. There's got to be a mistake. You guys are making a mistake." But police put him in jail and kept him there even after cell phone and Uber records they found in March indicated he was not at the scene. And DNA evidence that proved the suspect was somebody else was still not enough to convince police to release Davis, according to the lawsuit. Davis spent 129 days in jail before he was released. During that time, he was assaulted in jail, lost 2 jobs, and his home. When he was finally released, he was homeless. His mugshot was also published by local media outlets, naming him as the suspect in the violent sexual assaults. Davis said, "When the judge signed the PR bond, I was overwhelmed with excitement, but at the same time, I was nervous. What are people going to think? What are people going to say?" Davis is suing the city of Grand Rapids and the 3 investigators in the Grand Rapids Police Department for unlawful imprisonment, arrest, and prosecution. Officials for the city of Grand Rapids have not commented on the lawsuit. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports President Donald Trump reiterated his support for a Montana congressman who body-slammed a reporter last year, even as he came under criticism on Friday from U.S. lawmakers and press organizations. Trump's praise for Greg Gianforte, a Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives who pled guilty to assault charges for the incident involving a reporter, coincides with an international outcry over the disappearance of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Trump told a political rally in Missoula, Montana on Thursday night, referring to Gianforte, "Any guy that can do a body body slam. He's my guy. On Friday, asked whether he regretted praising Gianforte amid the Khashoggi controversy, Trump said he did not. Trump drew rebukes from several lawmakers, including U.S. Senators Jeff Flake and Patrick Leahy, as well as Gianforte's Democratic opponent Kathleen Williams, and from the spokeswoman for the United Kingdom's Prime Minister. Theresa May's spokeswoman told reporters on Friday he obviously made comments at a political rally, and those are for him, but more generally, we would always say that any violence or intimidation against a journalist is completely unacceptable. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after accidentally clicking like on nearly 400 of his ex-girlfriend's Facebook photos earlier today, panicked area man Adam Nuensing spoke to Onion reporters about his mistake.
Damn it, I was just looking at one of Rebecca's Instagram photos that showed up on my newsfeed, and the next thing I know, I just liked every single photo that she posted over the last 4 years. I didn't mean to, but it just kind of happened.
The 28-year-old told reporters that he had browsed through 14 of his ex-girlfriend's photo albums while inadvertently clicking like on each and every picture, including dozens from her office picnic last fall, her trip to New York in 2010, and a photo of her and her first boyfriend from 2006.
I thought if I went back and clicked unlike on all those pictures that maybe she wouldn't get any notifications, but then I saw some other albums and I ended up liking 80 more photos and shared them on my wall. Shit.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program here on this live Saturday edition of the show. Open phones, as always. That's what we do here with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Chris.
Don't forget our number, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Also, there's our Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. We'll get to your calls and thoughts. Just to recap, for those just tuning in, we started the show tonight with this news, which we actually haven't covered until tonight, about this mass of would-be migrants, people who, well, they've already migrated through Guatemala. They've come from Honduras.
Yep.
They're at the Guatemalan-Mexican border right now, and the Mexican border guards are stopping them and saying, we'll let you through one at a time, and you must apply for asylum. So basically, they're stopping them at this bridge. Right. And, there's walls and there's guards and there's rubber bullets being fired, and there's a lot of political football playing going on here in the United States over these people, with people on the supposed right wing, of course, positioning themselves as trying to get you to believe that these people are enemies, that the people that are in this group, which seems to be mostly, people that want to get out of a hellhole and live a better life, people who are bringing their families with them, children and even infants, on this journey, that we're somehow supposed to be afraid of them, and that we need the government to protect us, even these so-called small government people.
Need more government for that.
Claiming that, small government's good in most areas, but in this area, we need government. We need a techno police state. Now, some people want a wall. This other guy called in claiming he wanted drones flying all over the place, but then admitted that he doesn't feel good when he sees drones flying over his city.
Right.
So drones are okay in some places, just as long as they're not in your neighborhood. What makes you think they're not going to come to your city? Because the internal Border Patrol checkpoints can show up anywhere. Now, they tend to show up within 100 miles of the border, but that's not a guarantee. The TSA's Viper team has shown up at Greyhound bus stations, has shown up at train stations in the middle of the country.
Yep.
So these government goons will do whatever it is they want to do, and they'll push as far as they can as long as they get away with it. As long as nobody challenges them, then they keep moving and encroaching on your freedom. Is that what you really want?
Not what I want, but I will say this about drones. Ian, you're not really a hunter, but you ever heard of a goose gun?
No, what's that?
It's a 10 gauge. Yeah, everybody's heard of a 12 gauge shotgun.
Is 10 bigger or smaller?
10's bigger.
Bigger, okay.
You put like a 36, 38 inch barrel on the thing, and it's to shoot geese that are flying way the heck up there.
Okay.
Or drones.
Ah.
I'm just saying.
That probably could get you in some trouble if that drone had a camera and was able to transmit the photograph of you.
Perhaps.
Right.
We may be trying that out. Who knows?
Well, there are obviously ways, some more or less technological, to combat technology, and you're pointing that out. When there's a will, there's a way. And so either way, the concern I have here is that people are calling for more government. They're calling for a bigger police state. And I don't think most people understand that you don't get the government you want, okay?
Yeah.
You can call for what you want, but you're not the one who's going to create it. You're not the one who's going to build the program. You're not the one who's going to design the rules. You're not the one who's going to ultimately enforce those rules. You will not be in charge of it. So even if you could think up some perfectly efficient, wonderful government program, it ain't never going to work out that way for you.
You will get to fund it. Not voluntarily,
Right.
but your tax dollars will go to it whether you like it or not. That's what happens. That's your only involvement in that, unless you happen to be rich and powerful and you can sway a senator.
Let's talk to Pericles. He's on the line here listening to WLNI in Lynchburg on the FM band. Hello, Pericles.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, a couple of things. The topic is pretty intense. I'm all about the freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's real serious. And the thing is, I just want to address real quick my brother from Kentucky. All right. He said that freedom has boundaries, and it does. But freedom also, it knows no limit. And the boundaries he's talking about are fences built by men. And the things you guys are talking about, same thing. If you really want freedom, you have to ask yourself, what are you asking for, and what is that? And the simple is, don't encroach on person or property.
Right.
That's where it starts, right? So, first I want to say I probably agree with a lot of what you guys are talking about than not agree. But the one thing that I find it ironic, I've been listening to a lot of programs, and every time everyone's talking about giving up rights and freedoms, okay, the one thing that's protecting all of us right now, whether we want to admit it or not, legally protecting us and spiritually protecting us, is this thing that they're warping the Constitution. If you just strip the Constitution down, it does say, don't encroach on person or property. Now, we could go crazy and split the atom all day long, and that's all that anyone's doing. And party division is doing a great job of that. But the fact of the matter is, I like what the other guy just said. The way to defend the freedom is our own behavior. And if it means a goose gun, not hypothetically, not literally, right? Then get a better goose gun. Do this. Civil discourse.
Right.
Let's talk to each other as Americans. Like, who's the real Americans? You guys are real Americans, whether you think you're constitutionalists or not constitutionalists. Like,
I
one of you
used to
claims
be a
an anarchist,
constitutionalist
right?
until I realized, as Lysander Spooner put it, I think in his treatise No Treason, until I realized the Constitution basically is a dead letter. I mean, it was essentially, it either created the tyranny that we have today or it did nothing whatsoever to stop it. And further, it was signed and written by a bunch of people who have not long since passed away. So I don't see how it binds anybody. Clearly, the government doesn't think it binds anybody either. So, I mean, we've been through the list of the Bill of Rights and seen how they've been violated wholesale almost to the letter.
Right, but what we're talking about are the rights that are inherent in man. That's what I'm saying. Whether they legislate or don't legislate, this is the paradox. Okay.
Yes.
If I speak a certain way, I'm going to sound like an all-American pro-constitutionalist. Now, to some people, they're like, well, of course you are, brother, and because they understand fundamental freedom. I'm not talking about towing a party line. Okay.
Right.
If I speak to you guys in certain terminology, you might not realize I'm a constitutionalist, whether I am or not. What I'm saying is the common theme here is what is our freedom. Now, we don't need a constitution to tell guys like you and I, the you three that I'm hearing, right? There's three of you on the air, I believe.
Just the three of us, me and Chris, and then you, Pericles.
Okay. All right. So the thing is, okay, when we're having our discussions, the first thing I think the three of us can agree on, right, is we respect each other's right to our opinions and, of course, privacy. It's a God-given right. Like, nobody wants
right.
it on. And everyone, it's a natural right. And everyone that's saying, this thing that they're cowing to government protecting them, wake up. Government is not ever been set up to protect anybody.
Nope.
Okay? It's not. And it's embarrassing that I'm an American and I'm first generation, okay? And born here, first generation American born here, okay? I'm Greek heritage. My namesake is the father of democracy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm growing up in this country during the era of the bicentennial. I was like a kid.
Right.
And you guys remember that. Everyone's painting the fire hydrants red, white, and blue and all that, right?
Sure.
When I was growing up, everyone's like, oh, you've got to be a proud American especially if you're not born here and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, that's ironic because my people are the ones who brought freedom to the world, you know what I'm saying? But what did we bring? We brought an idea that was inherent in men all the time. That's still here today. And you're right. It's a dead letter you're saying. Okay, but you and I were alive. And the only thing that keeps that alive is this, and everyone's relying on saying the Constitution or the government. And that's embarrassing because free men, real free men, never relied on anything more than their heart and being real with each other, like how you guys expressed.
I love this guy. I love this guy. Pericles, great call. Thanks for sharing your thoughts tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The Constitution was a document created supposedly to keep the government in check. It doesn't grant you rights, and he wasn't saying that. I'm just pointing out. A lot of people think it does. It doesn't.
It's supposed to protect them, but it doesn't.
It enumerates them in the idea of protecting them from the government's encroachment, but it hasn't really worked out. More coming up.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.fm now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in here. Toll-free number for you on this live Saturday edition is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The Tom Woods Show. Tom Woods was introduced to a lot of libertarians during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. He's a New York Times best-selling author. He's written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. And since September of 2013, so 5 years now, Tom's been putting out his show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday, which means he's racked up over 1,200 episodes so far. Guests include Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. Topics including the wars, Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. You can find The Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatchers. We continue with your phone calls and thoughts. Let's go to, let's see, Hank is on the line listening in Pennsylvania. Hank, where are you calling from in PA?
You ever hear of a place called Gradyville?
I have not. No. What station are you tuned to?
Well, I'll go tech talk with you here to answer your radio station question. I'm listening to you on WILM, Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, all right. Nice. WILM, great station. Go ahead.
Yes, and believe it or not, I built an antenna today. It's called a starboard curtain for 40 meters wavelength, and I've got you tuned in on an antique radio from 1964.
I love it. I'm
impressed.
I'm a radio geek, man. From
me too.
The old days.
Yeah, I'm a ham radio operator, so this is the radio engineering is what I do for fun.
Right on. That's your hobby. I love that.
73s to you.
Right on. Do your DXing.
73, man. So you guys hams also?
No,
Yeah.
I'm an illegal.
He's an illegal. I'm a licensed. So I've got a general license.
Just 40 years.
Nice.
Allow me to make a couple comments in the most cogent fashion I'm able to.
Sure.
I may lack articulation, but I'll do my best.
That's right.
One of you, thank you. One of you had stated you were a constitutionalist.
I was until I read Lysander Spooner.
Would you have considered yourself a Hamiltonian Federalist or a Jeffersonian Republican?
Well, this sounds like another Pennsylvania caller that we often talk to, but I would say it was a path from me from neoconservative into becoming more of a constitutionalist, into becoming more of a libertarian,
But to answer the question,
Yeah.
a federalist meaning, if you by federalist you mean somebody who believes that the power was in the states as opposed to the federal government. Depends on who you ask whether that's the federalists or the anti-federalists. Yeah. But is that what you mean by federalist?
Well, I'll present the way I understand Federalist versus that of a Republican. Look at the development of the first bank in the United States, which was chartered in Philadelphia to pay off the debts accrued during the American Revolution. The second bank in the United States was chartered for the identical purpose to pay off the debts for the acquired during the War of 1812.
Yep.
When I was a National Park Ranger down there at the second bank in the United States in my younger years, went back into radio engineering after I left that. Nonetheless, the Hamiltonian federalism seemed to look at the federal banking or national banking system as in a way that the Constitution doesn't say we can't do it.
Right.
Whereas Jeffersonian republicanism says
you were never.
The Constitution doesn't say we can't.
Right. You were never. That power was never enumerated in the Constitution.
Well, they have the power to coin money.
They do, but the question of a national bank was a completely different question.
That's true.
Yeah. So
and technically, they don't have a national bank. They have the Federal Reserve, which is quasi-private. Right?
No, we just we outsourced that.
Yeah, that's a workaround. But I'm against any kind of government banks personally. Yeah. I'm against the Federal Reserve. I think the market should supply currency. The market should supply money.
And I've always identified more with the new. With the anti-federalists than the federalists. I've never really gotten the whole Hamilton fascination.
Indicate to me that you would consider yourself a Jeffersonian Republican.
Well, closer to that than anything else. I just don't like to label myself. Go ahead.
By the lines I've given you, it seems like you're a Jeffersonian Republican.
He was asking I thought you were asking what we were when we defined ourselves as constitutionalists, which I don't know if either of us does.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, given that binary choice, I would be closer to that than the other.
With that in mind, again, I'm leaning back on my time as a National Park Ranger back in the 80s. That we would have to realize that our national currency was developed because the Articles of Confederation did not allow for a constant flow of money from one state to another. What was happening at that point under the Articles of Confederation? That let's say Vermont and New Hampshire were accepting money from each other, but one would not accept money from New York.
Right.
So, or from Virginia. So the coining or production of a national currency was then the initial intent of the Constitutional Convention was to iron out the wrinkles of the Articles of Confederation. Instead, they threw it out the Articles of Confederation, developed the Constitution of the United States with the first 10 articles that we have.
Okay.
Now, after that was an amendment from Amendment 11 through to 27 that we have today. Now, we have to also remember something at the time of at the end of the Constitutional Convention here in Philadelphia, when Benjamin Franklin had left the State House, which we now call Independence Hall, thanks to Marquis.
Hank, I'm going to have to cut you pretty short here. What's the point you're driving at? I mean, thanks for the history lesson, but is this going somewhere?
The point I'm getting at is we get what we deserve as much as we participate in our own government.
Or whether you do or whether you don't, I still think you get what they decide you get.
Hank, thank you for the call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. I mean, there is the argument, Chris, that the people get the government they deserve.
Yeah.
And as a whole, I think there's something to that.
I think so, too. I think through apathy, I mean, people just have never paid attention to what's going on.
But then again, if you do pay attention, it seems almost insurmountable to try to actually change this system. I mean, look at how hard the libertarians have been working for years to scrape 2 or 3% in a three-way race.
And I'm going to say it's a very different world than when you had 13 small colonies compared to a country of 320 million people.
Right.
There's a size aspect to this, too, that at a certain point, things become immovable. And sadly, I feel that's where we're at.
Right, and you've got a situation where the Republicans and Democrats have worked together to make sure that other third parties like the Libertarians and the Greens cannot even get a foothold, can't get in a debate, and it's not just at the national level. Here in New Hampshire, the gubernatorial debate that's being held by WMUR, the one TV station, basically, they've set arbitrary limits to basically keep the Libertarian candidate out. Oh, you got to have $25,000.
There you go.
So if you're not rich, sorry. More coming up.
Broadcasting to over 1,000 radio stations, GCN programming is in all of the largest markets. A GCN advertising career could be the business opportunity you've been waiting for. Companies need hardworking representatives just like you to handle their needs, while you earn residual income which can last for years. Companies are buying and they need you. Email advertise@gcnlive.com or call 877-996-4327. That's 877-996-4327.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Hours spent volunteering at a local homeless shelter truly make her death at the hands of a drunk driver earlier this week all the harder to take for this school and this community.
I never knew Amanda, but everywhere I went there were touching reminders of the caring friend she would have been to me had I known her.
Losing Amanda was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with, but I knew I had to be strong for this community. I couldn't let them go through the funeral without my support.
She's so much better than all of us. She was so much good. She cared about so many people. She loved you so much. What's your name? She loved you, Russell.
And we have Brady Shaw with us right now.
Thanks, Brooke.
Not quite how I would have reported the story. Seems a bit unprofessional to let yourself get so emotional.
Well, when people are feeling pain, I feel it too. Don't you ever get emotionally invested in a story?
No, I don't. You know, I had my tear ducts cauterized years ago, and I like to keep my emotions stored in a special place in my mind where they only come out for my night terrors.
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial on in here toll free. Bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, you can call us on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Those are open to you over at our Discord server, which is free over at discord.lrn.fm. And it's an upgrade in your audio quality, so you'll sound almost like you're in the studio here with us. It's Ian.
And Chris.
Texas Bitcoin Conference, 1 week from today. We're going to be there. We'll be broadcasting from that event. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a great event, and I've had the pleasure of attending all of them so far. So this is going to be the fourth one, and it's not too late for you to get your tickets. The full schedule is up now at TexasBitcoinConference.com. Lynn Ulbricht will be speaking there. She's the mother of Ross Ulbricht, somebody we've been following closely here on Free Talk Live as he went to prison for a double life sentence plus 40 years for the dastardly crime of programming and operating a website. The website happened to allow for the sales of whatever, illegal drugs you wanted to buy or sell. But regardless, it's a travesty that he is behind bars for the rest of his life. Lynn's going to be there giving us, I'm sure, the latest on his case. Paul Puey from Edge Wallet will be there, a longtime guest here on Free Talk Live. Also, Bruce Fenton and more. Go to get the full schedule and your tickets over at TexasBitcoinConference.com. It's October 27th and 28th in Austin, TexasBitcoinConference.com. I'll look forward to seeing you there as we continue with your calls and thoughts to that Discord server where the Red Donut is on the line. Oh, no, I just now noticed he muted his microphone. Yeah. Oh, wait, he unmuted. There he is.
Here.
Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead, Red Donut. You're calling from Texas. No problem.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about what he said earlier about freedom and kind of what it has to do with the whole immigrant thing. And like you said, it's kind of leave me alone, but it's also that you can't really infringe on other people's freedoms.
Absolutely.
And
right.
So I think where Republicans want big government is where the government needs to step in to prevent people from impeding on those freedoms. So like the army, you need a big army to defend your freedoms.
But does that really happen? I mean, usually the army's going around and the military, and Chris, you used to be in the military,
sure,
is going around the world putting freedom in jeopardy by creating conflicts where they didn't need to.
That's fair. Yeah.
And do we really need the army to protect ourselves? Because, there's some countries in the world that don't have armies, and they seem to be doing just fine.
Well, and nobody has one that's 1/10 the size of ours.
Yeah,
good point.
That's true.
Yeah, it's massive. So, do they need more money, do you think? Because that's what the Republicans are always clamoring for, is bigger and bigger military budgets.
A lot of Democrats do, too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay to not have an answer.
Yeah. I just look at it, and when the idea of our country's just founded, and we just got out of this messy war with England, and now we've got this guy Napoleon, and he's looking a little threatening. Maybe we do need to protect our country, and the idea you did that with a navy, you protected your shores,
which they authorized in the Constitution for that purpose.
Sure. But the idea that, you would then create military bases in France or in England or, that was never a consideration. They wouldn't have even dreamt of that.
Which now they have, 1,000 or so U.S. military bases in other countries around the world?
I've heard anywhere from 700
That's the low end I've heard,
over 1,000. Yeah, military bases all around the world so we can project our power all across. Right now,
that's not making friends. I'm sorry, it's not.
The Pentagon is actually pushing back on the Navy because the Navy says it needs 2 more carriers. Now, when you do a carrier, you're also doing a whole carrier battle group. You can imagine how expensive this is.
It sounds very
billions of dollars just for one ship. But do we need this? No. I like what Ron Paul said was, we need a defense. We don't need an offense.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I just don't think that even if you could get the U.S. government. By the way, he dropped off the line. Thank you for the call, Red Donut.
Yeah, appreciate
that. Even if you could get the U.S. military to shutter all those 1,000 bases or 700 or however many of them there are, withdraw from the however many countries that is,
right,
and bring all those troops back home, you sure as hell don't need all those people stationed here. Let's let them go back to the productive economy.
Right.
And if you want to have defense, can we just let the market handle that? Because I'm sorry, I don't trust the government at all, so I don't want them handling defense either. I understand that it's in the Constitution to have a navy or whatever, but if you feel like you need a boat with bombs on it, go ahead and do a fundraiser and have yourself a boat with bombs on it. I mean, the money to support the military comes from the people through taxation. So there's money there, and there's interest in people that, they want to have protective things. They want to have tanks, surface-to-air missiles, whatever it is they want to have. You fund it.
Well, all I'm saying is in 1985, in October, I'm pretty sure, a number of brave Americans defended our country. I just want to say thank you to Patrick Swayze and the rest of the Wolverines who pushed back on a Russian invasion. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Honest
really
to God,
is.
if there were ever any country foolish enough to come invade, you're going to find out how many guns there are in civilian hands in the United States.
Yep.
Regardless of whether you've got troops here or not. Civilians are going to be out there fighting.
They will. And
so,
that's why, you don't have invasions in the United States.
It's
I know it's apparently it's an apocryphal quote of, supposedly it was the Japanese, like Admiral Yamamoto or something. He didn't really say this, but, the old statement is that they wouldn't invade the United States mainland because there's a gun behind every blade of grass, was the statement.
Well, to be fair, we only have somewhere around 330 million civilian guns for a country with 320 million people.
Yeah.
Guns outnumber people here.
Now, there are probably some states where there are fewer guns per capita than other states, and they might have a tougher time.
I'll load them one.
But yeah. All right, so let's continue here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Let's talk to John. He's in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Hello, John.
Yeah, hello, guys. I just wanted to touch on the immigrant topic real fast,
Please
and I'll
do.
let the next caller get on here. I just think it's a shame that these guys are being exploited the way they are by both sides of the government, to be honest with you. I worked side by side with a lot of guys for years from Honduras.
Really?
Doing hardcore construction work, framing condos.
Did they try to murder you while you were on the job site?
No, this is what I'm trying to get at, guys. These guys work hard all day, and they want to go home and eat their dinner and be with their wives and kids just like we do, man.
Right.
I mean, the people that came here before these guys were our ancestors, and they came for the exact reason.
Right.
And this fear-mongering and this exploitation of these people, it makes me sick, man.
Yeah. Well, and both sides are making political hay out of it.
But it's good that you've had experience, because when you can break down the barriers, these false barriers that exist in people's minds, when you've got people on television like Trump saying that these folks that are just trying to get here or get somewhere else are somehow a threat or enemies or whatever. I mean, it's just so ridiculous, and it's crystal clear once you actually meet these people and you find out, like you said, they're just people like you.
Yeah.
They're creating ghosts, man. It's a horror story. And the other side's just as bad because the other side's exploiting them in other ways, man.
Sure.
Oh, you need us to take care of you and this and that and the other thing. It's just corrupt and it's sickening, man. That's all I wanted to say.
I love it. Thanks, John. Great call. I really appreciate it. It's my favorite call of the night, I think.
Yeah,
really
and that summed up what I'm trying to be saying all night long. It's both sides making political hay over a sad situation, and number-wise, it's just so irrelevant. 4,000 people out of 320 million.
But Chris, if you let in 4,000, it's going to be 4 million.
Exactly. There you go again. But you're talking thousandths of a percent.
Yeah.
That's what's going to tilt our country in the wrong direction.
Yeah. If you believe in freedom, then numbers won't scare you. Because if we actually had freedom, then those people would be coming here, and there'd be no welfare state to support the deadbeat ones.
Right.
And the ones that, wanted to work would find work, and they'd make the country a better place to live for everybody. Bring prices down, because if people are working for less, that means the cost of whatever the product or service is can go down.
You got it.
Which means we all save more money in the long run, have a higher standard of living. More coming up here in moments. Sounds like a terrible idea. It's Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women.
I've probably noticed in the past 5 years that my eyes have gained a lot of fine lines, wrinkles, my crow's feet have gotten deeper. Wow, I was hoping for 5 years, but that's like what my eyes looked like 10 years ago.
That is really cool. Wrinkle gone?
It's easy, just put it on your finger and go. Now I wish I had more down here because I can still see one wrinkle. It's bugging me.
I am a little bit emotional. Turning 40, I didn't think would be a big deal to me, but that looks like the me that I feel like inside instead of what I see when I look in the mirror.
Try Instantly Ageless today at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, join us on the radio waves. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I want to say a special hello to our listeners on Twitch tonight. We actually hit a couple dozen. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, it's a good night on Twitch. We're not a video game streaming channel most of the time, although I did do some game streaming this week. That's what Twitch is generally for. It's like probably 95% game streaming. Mm-hmm. But they opened up their categories a couple years ago, and earlier this year we were looking for a new streaming option for our video, and I took a look at Twitch, and it turns out it's actually a really good platform for live video streaming. So if you want to check our show out in video form, you can see Chris, and he's got a nice little close-up over there on him.
Arguable, but...
Yeah, and it's free, by the way. You can go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can see us there and follow us on Twitch. Earlier tonight, I haven't checked in the last couple hours, but we were darn close to 500 followers there.
Nice.
And we were at like 494 earlier today. So would love to hit that arbitrary number. If you don't mind helping, head over to twitch.lrn.fm. You do need to have an account, obviously, to follow us there. And then if you've got the Twitch app on your smartphone, it'll give you notices if you enable those. I think they might be by default. I don't recall. But you'll get notices whenever it is we go live. And there's also other shows on the same network, on the Liberty Radio Network, that you will see on our Twitch channel as well when they go live. And if you've got Twitch, or if you've got Amazon Prime, then you can give us one of your perks. So as an Amazon Prime member, you may not have known this, you get one free Twitch subscription per month. And that's because Amazon bought Twitch years ago. So it's actually part of Amazon. All you got to do is you got to link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, which is easy to do. There's a link if you go to twitch.lrn.fm, scroll down below our video feed, and you'll find the link in our description there of how to link up your accounts. And then once you do that, you can assign that subscription to us, and then LRN gets a couple bucks. That's money that Amazon would have kept for themselves that they'll send to us. If you do that, it just takes you a few steps. And once you link the accounts up, then all you got to do is just remember to go back and do it every month. And we'll try to remind you about that. So head over to twitch.lrn.fm and please give us a follow there. And if you can, throw that Amazon Twitch subscription at us, that'd be awesome too. We certainly do appreciate it. Or listen however you want. We've got podcast. We've got live streaming audio. We've got radio stations, 190 great stations across the country. Should have a new one signing on with us tonight.
Nice.
But I always wait until I can verify that they actually made it. I was cutting liners for them earlier this afternoon, so I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. But I always I don't say hello until we know they're absolutely 100% there. So, anyway, check us out over at freetalklive.com, and we're going to continue here. We're going to try to get as many calls on as we can. But if you don't get in tonight, don't worry. We're here 7 nights a week. So even if you're not hearing us live, even if your local radio station you might be listening on doesn't carry all 7 nights, rest assured, we're here doing a show all 7 nights per week. So I'll be on tomorrow night for the Sunday show with Daryl. We got plenty of time for you then if you don't get in tonight. But let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Joni is this Alaska? Joni, you're on Free Talk Live.
Johnny.
Johnny's
my name. No, I am originally from Chicago.
Okay.
But I live in Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. Okay.
Texarkana, Arkansas.
Oh, okay. So you're listening to KTFS there. Go ahead.
My husband was here. But anyway, I live in Chicago, and my great-grandmother went to Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we have an Ellis Island for our immigrants?
Well, I kind of like the idea of having, we have all these checkpoints. I'd like to turn them into welcome centers. No, seriously.
Well, that is a welcome.
Yeah.
They had the choice of New York or Chicago. And my grandmother and grandfather, and in fact, great-grandmother, grandfather rather, and the little boy, which is my great-uncle, I guess, went to Chicago. And they all lived in a room, like 10 or 20 people. But they worked hard.
Yeah.
They worked very hard.
It's the same story today.
They got to where they wanted to be.
Right. My ancestors came through New Orleans. That was another port.
So were they French or just happened to go that way?
We were Swiss. They had soared down into the Caribbean.
Belt.
Gotcha.
I am from the Corn Belt.
Now, where were they? Where was your family from originally, though?
From Chicago.
Did she say that?
I married a man in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, anyway, I know the Midwest. And the Corn Belt, though, didn't have immigrants working in Marseilles and so forth. They were all family, white people. But the immigrants were in another town. And they worked very hard.
Well, and so where was your family from originally? I don't know if you said that.
Chicago.
No. When they migrated, where were they from?
Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
And
do you speak
Ireland.
Czech?
Not really. They wanted me and my sister to learn, but we didn't want to.
And this is my point. This is the point I wanted to make here. And thank you for the call, by the way, Joni. I appreciate it.
Right.
Is 2-3 generations, you've
Right.
got full-on English-speaking people.
Right.
Right? When they come here, they speak Czech. They're living 10 people in a room. They're breaking their backs, working hard.
Right.
A couple generations later, life's much better for their grandchildren, and they don't even have to learn Czech.
And that's how it works. That's how it's
Every
always
time.
worked. And this
Because
idea
you're
that
better off economically if you learn the language.
Right, but this idea that this is the first time the United States has ever been confronted with something of this magnitude. Oh my God. And it's one
Ridiculous.
thing after another, and it just defies hundreds of years of U.S. history.
Just make sure you keep them, what was it, the Irish off the grass?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Unbelievable.
Let's go to actually, no, we're not going to her. What am I thinking? I'm not going to put her on. She calls every night. Let's go to Trevor in Phoenix. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Trevor.
Hey, guys, getting back to the Honduras people
Yes,
coming up in a massive caravan of 4,000.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of people aren't aware of pretty recent U.S. history, particularly under the Reagan administration, where we threw guns and money to suppress communist insurgency, which is kind of running through Central America at that point.
Absolutely.
And our response in propping up the existing puppet governments there was so unbelievably brutal that these places remain war zones to this day.
Yes.
There is no real legitimate civilian government. Basically, the gangs and stuff are the de facto government. And for these people, as they run from this situation, they're running for their lives.
Right.
From a
Basically, they have
situation.
one choice: get with the criminal gangs or be killed. So
Right.
this is very much a race against death for them. But I think anybody that wants to can look into our history in Central and South America, where we basically had banana republics, right? It's kind of where that term came from, is that we just set up imperialist regimes in these regions for resource extraction, usually for stuff we couldn't grow up here all that well, like sugar and rice.
Or that we didn't
and
have
guava.
or that we didn't have in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's a great point. And
So it's like,
a good
doesn't it set up like a pattern? Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
doesn't
it's
it
all right.
set up a pattern with our whole with our whole military-industrial complex and our imperialist
Sure.
aspirations for the globe? We keep creating refugees. In the case of the Mideast, by the millions, and we're somehow surprised when they start showing up on Western Europe's doorstep and our doorstep.
Right.
Gee, you kind of think people would put things together, but
Which is why I always recommend to anybody who's never read it, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. That's one great book that talks a lot about what motivates the United States to go in and support these very bad people, and it comes down to money. And you're right. We suffer blowback from all these different things years later, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe because it happens 20, 30 years ago that we're not connecting the dots, but it's a good point.
Good call, Trevor. Thank you for making it tonight. I appreciate it. Let's continue. Ryan is listening in Oklahoma to KZLS. I think in Enid. Ryan, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing tonight?
Welcome. Yeah, we're short on time. You're going to have to keep your comments pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to start out by saying these people that are coming into our country, I'm assuming they're all going to be illegals, correct? They're not going to take the legal routes necessary in order to become legally documented immigrants. And
why would anybody want to do that? I mean, that's a huge pain.
Well, I'm building up to a point here.
Right.
What I'm saying is, generally speaking, when a person takes the time to go through the legal process of actually becoming a legal immigrant to our country, it shows more often than not, they are more likely. I'm not saying that these people that are coming in illegally are not going to be able to support themselves or support.
Indeed. I'll tell you what, I wish we had more time. Call us tomorrow. We can
Please
talk
do.
further. We start at 7 o'clock at night Eastern Time. I will look forward to hearing from you then. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. Have a great weekend. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, October 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,227 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,499. Antiwar.com reports U.S. airstrikes against the town of Sousse, one of the last territories held by the Islamic State in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province, killed at least 32 civilians, many of them women and children, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. This is one of two towns still under control of the Islamic State in eastern Syria, which have been targeted by an offensive by U.S. and Kurdish forces. These are among the first major airstrikes hitting the town itself in the past 24 hours. U.S. officials have yet to comment on the matter, but it's not hard to see how it could have happened, as they have struggled to show progress on the ground and are looking to provide more support for Kurdish forces trying to advance. The problem is intelligence on the ground in Syria is never very good, and that means the U.S. really only knows it's hitting a town that's under control of the Islamic State, not that it's hitting combatants or civilians. Unfortunately, this never seems to deter U.S. airstrikes. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a Michigan man cleared of rape charges after DNA evidence proved his innocence has sued the Grand Rapids police who arrested him for violating his civil rights. Xavier Jawan Davis was arrested in January for sexually assaulting 2 women, including one at gunpoint. The only evidence police had before taking him into custody was a police sketch of a black man, which Davis said did not even look like him. Davis told M Live, "I'm telling them, you have the wrong person. There's got to be a mistake. You guys are making a mistake." But police put him in jail and kept him there even after cell phone and Uber records they found in March indicated he was not at the scene. And DNA evidence that proved the suspect was somebody else was still not enough to convince police to release Davis, according to the lawsuit. Davis spent 129 days in jail before he was released. During that time, he was assaulted in jail, lost 2 jobs, and his home. When he was finally released, he was homeless. His mugshot was also published by local media outlets, naming him as the suspect in the violent sexual assault. results. Davis said when the judge signed the PR bond, I was overwhelmed with excitement, but at the same time, I was nervous. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? Davis is suing the city of Grand Rapids and the 3 investigators in the Grand Rapids Police Department for unlawful imprisonment, arrest, and